Welcome everybody, I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we're on each and every week. Thank you for tuning in once again. We try to bring to you some information that you can use if you're thinking about buying or selling real estate. And as everyone knows, real estate market here in Las Vegas and in the surrounding valley is very hot. It's really good, and if you're thinking of selling your property, probably a good time. Topic today for the show: what happens when the recession's coming? What are you going to do? How do you predict when the bottom or the top is reached and then you're starting to come back down? I've talked to a lot of real estate agents and professionals in the market here in Las Vegas. I know a lot of flippers, a lot of people who buy and look for houses that are, not quite up to the par of the neighborhood. Buy low, sell high, fix them up. Whether it be a $20,000 fix-up or a $100,000 fix-up, there are always opportunities in each and every market. So I went to my friends, people in the market, people flipping houses, and asking them, and one of the telltale signs of when we're reaching the top and we're about to crest over and go over to the other side is when the margins on the sale of flipped properties gets thinner and thinner. Now, we're going to have some guests on the show today to talk a little bit about both the real estate market and in the flipping market, and to try to understand where we are in those markets as an indicator of where we are in the overall market. Certainly in your neighborhood you could say, hey, you know what, guy across the street just sold a house, $250,000, my house is better, I think I can sell it for $260,000 because I'm thinking of either moving or downsizing or buying a bigger house. It's not necessarily indicative that each and every sale keeps cresting the last sale. Because of this fact, we wanted to talk to the flippers. So I did talk to the flippers. I went out there and I talked to them, and they said to me, look, we're right now in a situation where each neighborhood is a little bit different. Some of the neighborhoods that we go into, the margin is large. And what I mean by large is over $100,000. Now that's unusual to me, especially in this market when you've got a median house price of about $290,000. Although last month it had crested and now it's down to about $287,000, which is again another indication of where we are in the market. We are flat in the market right now. So the question of whether we're going to go up or whether we're going to go down is really important if you're looking to sell the property. Now, if you're looking to buy a property, right now is a terrific time to think about that because, okay, kids are back in school. Number one reason why the market slows down and inventory increases. The number two reason that this happens is that what we've seen is the appreciation in the market has crested and we're looking at a lower appreciation. Talking to a house flipper again last night, he said, look, we cannot sustain 6 to 10% increases in prices every year forever. And as everyone knows, last year was 16% in the market. So if you're dealing with 16% in the market last year, and we're around 9.5 to 10.5% increase in the value of your home this year, we know that as a result of a normal market, which is 3 to 5% per year, we're looking to pull back. Now, does that mean we've crested and we're actually falling down and the market's about ready to crash? I don't think so, because even in the markets where the margin is thin, you're still seeing $25,000 to $30,000 in terms of the spread that you can make on your property. So house flippers are telling me that the market is still on the up. The market is telling me, because we have yet to crest and get to where it's below 3 to 5% a year, as I just told you, it's 10% this year. So I think the market is good for the next 12 months. I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host in the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with Super Grow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your Super Grow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Welcome everybody, I'm Jeff Barton and I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we're on each and every week. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to try to bring you some information about buying and selling real estate right here in Las Vegas, in the surrounding valley and towns. There is a lot of opportunity out there for the buying side right now. We're seeing a little flattening of prices, and it's a possibility that if we have interest rates not rise the way we thought they were going to rise. I mean, I thought we were going to be at 5.5% by this time. And currently, right now, you can still get mortgages 30-year fixed for under 4.5%, which is pretty good. It's historically unbelievable. So there's opportunities for buyers. For sellers, we're seeing prices flatten out too. So if you're thinking about selling, maybe a good time for you to jump on board and start to sell. Anyway, I've got a great guest for you here today. He's been on the show several times, been on our panel many times. He deals with wealth management and how you deal with wealth management in terms of your long-term goals, short-term goals, and if you've got some issues along the way like health or retirement, things that you really have to plan. Of course, we're talking about Tex Robinson, and he's with me right now. He's with WealthWave. Yes, of course. He's with WealthWave, and I really appreciate him being on the show. Tex, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Jeff?
I'm just fine. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. Start of the show, we were talking off air about someone who got sick, who was worried about paying their bills. And based on what we've talked about in the past, how do you help someone like that, especially if they either haven't got long-term wealth management or if they do?
Okay, so first thing that I always ask clients, first thing we do is we do what is called a F&A, financial needs analysis. And the reason for that is I want to take a snapshot to see what's coming in and what's going out in regards to cash. Most importantly is the average American maybe have $500 in their savings account, but if your bills are $2,500 a month, you need to have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. And now, if you don't have that and something were to happen, guess what? You're going to go to your credit cards,
right? Or
a lot of clients call in to the 401k to take a loan out to pay bills, whatever the case may be. So when they're dealing with me and our team, we offer what is called the living benefit rider. So if a client does become ill, whatever the face amount that they have, it's $100,000, $200,000, and they become ill and they cannot perform 2 out of their 6 daily functions, cook, comb their hair, put their clothes on, whatever the case may be, it's going to pay out a 2% face amount. So if you make $5,000 a month, I know that I need to do something in the terms of a $250,000 policy. Therefore, that 2% pays out $5,000 a month. So in the case right now, I have a client, she just been diagnosed with cancer. She can't go back to work. They don't know when she's going to be able to go back. And her bills are around about $1,500 a month. Her income is around about close to that same. So she's maxed out every month. So with her $100,000 policy, she is now going to receive $2,000 a month. Now she can rest, relax, and be able to pay her bills.
Now, what you're talking about, the face value, that means the amount of money already invested in the policy or the amount of policy? Does that mean the $100,000 already has to be in terms of the payment on the policy?
No, the $100,000 is already in such as a term. The policy is already $100,000. You don't have to build up to $100,000. Now, we do have other policies that you do build up. But in this case, the great thing about it is that $100,000 is already sitting there. So they don't have to worry about putting money in to build up to the $100,000 to exercise the 2%.
And the process in order for someone, like for instance, your client is sick, obviously. Do you have something that would protect people if they had pre-existing conditions, or in terms of the life insurance policy that you're talking about?
Absolutely. We do have a company that will allow, even if the client was in hospice that already had stage 4, that's getting ready to pass away in 6 months, we even have a policy that will still get them some type of burial type of insurance up to $25,000. So yes.
Okay.
It's out there. A lot of people don't think it is, but it is out there. GoFundMe accounts is not what you want to be using for trying to bury your mom or your dad. And it's amazing to see. September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. Right now we have what is called buy one, get one free estate planning, will, and trust. You wouldn't believe how many families that don't have a proper estate planning, and they don't realize when that person passes away, the judge makes the decision, not you.
Now, that's interesting you say that, because real estate, and we talk a lot about real estate as well as other things.
Absolutely.
Real estate is part of wealth management, but in terms of dying intestate, and that a judge will decide for you what happens to your property, this is what real estate investors they love that, because what happens is the property has to then be liquidated, and all of a sudden the investment or the investor has an opportunity. So for people not to understand that it's in their best interest to get a wills and trusts.
Absolutely. My grandparents passed away and left a lot of assets, and they did not have the proper will and trust. It took about 18 to 24 months. So therefore, my father, his brothers and sisters had to keep paying the real estate taxes and all the bills on all the land and the house before they can even get access to it. So it, to me, was like that was a major headache for them. And they couldn't exercise the cash. They couldn't exercise renting out the property. They couldn't do none of that till the judge made his final decision. So if my grandparents would have had a proper will and trust, that would have been done right away.
Now, when you deal with people, do you deal with the individuals? Do you deal with relatives? Do you deal only in a situation whereby you have somebody who's sick, somebody who can't really help themselves in terms of investing in a policy? Is it a family thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say?
Well, no, it's not. Individuals or family, we do actually both. Okay. And another misconception, you'll see some of these financial advisors say, hey, and I don't like to use the word hate, but I dislike this commercial. Hey, if you have $500,000, call us and we can, No, you
invest it to
you don't need $500,000. What you need to have is the will to be able to sit down with someone and say, I need help. Because you know what? When I was 20, 21 years old, and my mama kept telling me that, hey, you need to get a financial advisor. I don't have enough money. I was playing football, but I was like, I don't have enough money. I don't need it. I'm too young. I'm healthy. No, I asked for help. I was able to get it. I understood it. But these commercials coming out, if you have $500,000, no, you don't. It does not take $500,000 to get started with any type of retirement or life insurance policy.
So your business, WealthWave, you're dealing with all economic.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter nationality, race, color.
Right.
If that individual is committed, one of my first clients that I'm so proud of, just spoke to her yesterday. 2 scenarios. Have a nurse client who just come up with so many excuses. But then I have a client who makes $18,000 a year, but when she got her tax return money, she set it aside in an escrow account to be able to make her retirement payment every month. That money cannot be touched. She was that disciplined and listened to what I said, and she's made her payment for the last year, like clockwork. So when she gets her tax return again, She sets aside another $3,000, and that just comes out every month, even though this young lady is not making $30,000, $40,000, $100,000 a year.
Now, how does that on the back end, let's say she retires in 35, 40 years, how's that going to help her?
Well, with the rule of 72, and if you don't understand the rule of 72, is you take 72, divide it in the interest rate of what that account has been, let's just say 10, that means her money is going to double every 7.2 years.
Right.
So I've taken her age at 42, she wanted to retire at 72, 30, and it gave me an idea of how many flips she's going to get. So by the time she's retired with the cost of insurance and everything, she'll have a little, because she didn't have anything now, she's going to have well over $500,000 put away.
That's amazing.
And it will allow you, this account will allow you to put as much as you want to, because she just got a promotion. This will allow you to put as much as you want to into the account without what is called a modified endowment account, meaning that if you go over getting taxed. But when she pulls the money out, she pulls the money out tax free. She do not have to pay taxes on the money. The money has what is called a zero floor. The market crashes,
right,
her money is protected.
This is great, because I know that we were talking also off air about the president and how his endorsement of what you're trying to do and help people has really made the phone ring.
Absolutely, absolutely. Life insurance retirement plan, the president does it, and 85% of your Fortune CEOs, right, this is how they put their money in a retirement for them and their children.
Tex, I really appreciate it. Once again, protecting the blind side of your clients. I really appreciate you coming back on the show. Thank you very much for the information. And I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification in an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for tuning in each and every week. We bring to you information that we hope you can use in your buying or selling real estate. Look, if you want to invest here, if you want to live here, if you just want to come and visit and rent in a nice place, anything you need to do about real estate and the things you need to have information about, we try to provide on this show. A lot of it is not necessarily tangentially maybe, but not necessarily directly involved with what goes on in real estate. Politics, for instance. What happens in Washington, D.C. can affect your real estate market. Why? Because HUD is a federal program, and HUD loans are plentiful here in Las Vegas. Also in the local, whether it's the governor or your local congressperson or the state senator or the local assembly person or the mayor here in Las Vegas. There's all things political that can affect what you want to do in real estate, and so we bring our political expert, ex-candidate, back to the show, Steve Schiffman. Steve, how are you?
How are you, Jeff?
Not bad. You like that intro?
It's passable.
Okay.
Will it get voters? I don't know.
I don't know either.
But I'm glad to be back.
Thank you. The political scene here in town. I asked you to think a little bit about the governor's race. Explain what is happening with the governor's race, and for those that really don't know, who's involved with it and how that's going.
With all the money being spent for television ads, if they don't know, somebody's doing the job wrong. It's Republican mainly, and the Democrat, and some independents as well. It's kind of a nasty fight. It's some would say the ultra-conservative versus the ultra-liberal. Money and taxes versus rule of law and order, that type of contest. It depends on what you are. And as a result, you're seeing a lot of advertising that's negative.
Right. Well, that's typical in any political campaign, especially at the state level. We're talking about two candidates here which have gone further to the right and further to the left. Why is that? We don't have a centrist candidate.
It depends on your perspective. So, for example, if you believe in having somebody who's a moderate, and it's not governor, but if you look at the senator's race, for example, that Jackie Rosen is advertising like a Republican, even though she's a Democrat, because she sees that. When you watch the Dean Heller, he's more of a moderate than a Trumpster, if you will. So to answer your question, it's the core constituency who's going to vote. And remember, in the state of Nevada, it's been many years since they've had a Democratic governor.
Right. How many years is that?
What, 10, 12 years?
That's
or
right.
more? Quite a lot.
Right.
And there has to be a reason for it.
How come the current governor is not really endorsing anybody? It's odd, isn't it, that the outgoing governor is not
I thought
endorsing
so,
the...
but where would he fit?
Well, I don't know.
He's
but-
the only one in the middle.
Well, right. And exactly
Exactly.
why he's a popular governor.
And it may be that he's trying to become maybe for the president later on. I know he was being considered for the Supreme Court and things of that sort. He's not your typical Republican or Democrat in this state, so it seems.
Right.
He's actually what people should be. Middle of the road pragmatists.
Okay, so describe and name the two candidates running for governor.
Laxalt and Sisolak. The Democratic candidate, he's on the Clark County Commission, he's chairman, and he has the impression of spending money. He believes in taxes, increases, and one of the ads says, have him saying the word property tax, raising property tax, which is a no-no out here.
Right.
Because they're capped. On the other hand, on the Republican side, you'll hear negative concepts saying that he was against women's rights, he was against this, against that, and they want to cut back on protections. So in terms of, for example, the Democratic side, I would say he's probably more pro-labor union. Now, why do I say that? He was one of the few people, I suppose, that supported public money going to the Raiders Stadium, millions of dollars. And he's saying that was a good deal because it'll get jobs. Not jobs for the average person, but for the unions. I'm sure there's an agreement there. At the same time, Clark County has a lot of expensive taxes here and a lot of fees. And water, for example, that he, as part of being a commissioner, is also a member of what they call the Water District organization. So even though they say nonprofit, it's the same person or people who do it. And water here is expensive, so you don't hear consumer friends, really.
Now, we had Gil Garcetti in town recently, mayor of Los Angeles, coming out stumping for the candidate out here. Do you find that any of that is helpful when you got either a celebrity endorsement or other politicians? For instance, Trump will be in, and has been in Las Vegas stumping himself for the Republican candidates.
It's important for donors. However, it's like preaching to the converted, to the choir. Those who are impressed by such a person are already going to vote for him. So what's the advantage? I don't think it helps going to the undecided,
Right.
personally.
And do you think this governor's race will be decided by the undecided?
I'm going to go on record now, all right? I'm going to gamble.
Okay.
I think it'll be, with maybe one exception on one congressperson's, it's going to be all Republican. They're going to take it all. I really do.
Okay.
Be it for governor, senator, and now representative. As a matter of fact, you didn't ask this, Oscar Goodman, right?
Right.
He endorsed Laxalt. He did. He didn't endorse anybody else in any other political races. His wife, who was mayor of Las
And
Vegas,
she said she wouldn't, right?
because she's officially nonpartisan. Now, obviously, you have to ask yourself, why did Goodman nominate or support the Republican?
Right.
Maybe it's because there are things that he doesn't want to tell us about on the Democratic side.
Well,
So I think that endorsement will help, really will.
Yeah, well, he was a popular mayor.
Very popular.
Yeah.
And he also has the ins and outs with the gambling people, the gaming people. I hate the expression the mob lawyer because that's wrong. Well, that's probably how he made his money, though.
Right.
So he has a lot of deep pocket connections. And I believe that even though he's getting old and maybe his health isn't as good as it could be, his influence is probably there on the state level.
We talk a lot about taxes, right? And you're not a great believer in public funding of sports stadiums, which is...
Or convention halls or anything like that,
Right.
not the private sector. Or I'll rephrase it, having lived in Orlando, which the issue was the same, who benefits from these? The local residents or the tourists? If the tourists come, why should our public money pay for it?
Well, that's a good point. Why should the tourists pay for it?
It's the conventioneers who come here.
No, I understand, but if you want more convention business and another city is competing and it's less expensive, wouldn't you not, quite necessarily not come here? I mean,
You come here because it's in the interest of the company holding the convention. They like the climate, perhaps they like the gambling, they like the entertainment. I happen to think that Las Vegas is unique in certain ways. It can't compete against California in certain entertainment and gambling, that's for sure. So you know that many Californians will come here, whether they advertise or promote it anyway, right?
well, and this brings it up too. There is concern that because there's now sports gambling on games in New Jersey, that will spread to other states. California being one that it could spread to because of the revenue that it could drive to California. So what happens to Las Vegas and the draw to bring people here to bet on sports gambling if in fact they can do that back in California? Is there a problem if there's too many taxes here on incoming people, whether it's on your rent-a-car or on your hotel bill or any number of other taxes that are...
If you're a gambler and you like the environment, you're going to come here. Or if you're really a big-time gambler, you call the phone and have someone make the bet for you. So I'm not sure that's really necessary. And remember, a lot of the tourists are the foreign tourists, the international tourists.
Well, there's no question.
And they come here one time or twice, and that's it. That's all you need. It's not like a person coming over and over and over again. It's like Disney World. How many times can you go to Disney World unless you have children?
Well, that's true. All of that is what you're saying is true. I'm just putting out the question,
Sure.
Is there a concern, either with you personally or in the political sphere, that maybe we should back off on the taxes to see if we can attract more people and
I'll answer.
cut back on spending?
Remember the expression, the proof is in the pudding?
Yes.
Right? Well, when they passed the financing for the Raiders, they raised the hotel tax.
Yes, they did. That's my point.
Well, if they thought they were effective, why would they have done it?
Well, because sports gambling wasn't legal yet in other states. They thought it might be, but it
Room
wasn't quite
tax?
sure.
Why on the room tax?
Well,
The
because
simple-
anybody coming here would possibly not want to come here if it was more expensive than going to, say, Orlando.
No, 80,000 people are expected every game for the Raiders when they're here. They have to stay at some place.
Well, if it's out of town, and is that what they're saying? They're
Of
going to
course.
be more out
Do you
of town
think-
people
do you
seeing the
think-
Raiders?
Do you think that the Raiders are going to have their support by local population only?
Yes.
80,000 people?
Yes.
No way. No way.
Well, one of the things about NFL, and maybe it's true here, and will be true here, attendance is down. It's down at a lot of outdoor sporting events, whether it be football or baseball or any number of other events.
But this is a weekend destination for people in California.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that the abundance of tax drives people away because it's expensive. You're saying we need people from out of state in order to fill the football stadium. So isn't that antithetical in terms of the way they're thinking? And I'm talking politically here.
Right.
Not necessarily my opinion, because I don't know.
Well, it's economic, and no one really knows for sure.
Right.
Personally, I would not come or try to avoid hotels that have the $20 resort fee or the 4% fee.
It's
for the
35.
Oh, it's 35. Excuse me now. I
Just
would not go to these places. Personally, I think
right.
it's outrageous.
It is outrageous.
But if you're addicted to gambling, or let's face it, a lot of people here are on the free junkets, and they
Right.
don't pay anything. If they don't pay anything, they don't care.
Steve, thanks very much. Once again, great analysis, and we'll have you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.